Pooh Shiesty been sitting in jail for the last 3 days, bro.
Pooh Shiesty just jumped back into the spotlight, and this time it's messy. Reports say a fresh raid ended with him getting picked up alongside his father, turning heads fast and sparking questions everywhere. Rumors are already moving wild, with people trying to connect the situation to Gucci Mane. Now everyone's locked in, trying to figure out what really happened behind the scenes and who actually made the call. Here's how it played out.
Probably got something to do with that little situation that took place between Gucci Man and them.
Early morning on the 1st of April 2026, federal agents showed up heavy at a house on Beaver Valley Lane in Cordova, Tennessee, a quiet suburb just outside Memphis that usually stays calm. No warning, no knock, no heads up at all. Neighbors were shaken awake by loud flashbangs and chaos breaking the silence. Around 6 a.m., agents forced their way through the back door and swept the entire property. It didn't take long before local news crews like Fox 13 Memphis, WREG, and Action News 5 pulled up, cameras rolling as FBI agents kept moving in and out of the house for hours straight, keeping everybody guessing what was really going on inside. That was really the scene on the ground, FBI and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation running the same operation like a full takeover. Flashbangs going off, loudspeakers echoing, and a whole neighborhood caught completely off guard with zero clue what was about to hit their block. One neighbor kept it real with reporters, saying there was no warning at all, just a loud boom that shook everything. Then it got even heavier. Federal agents flooded the entire street, locking it down tight. The FBI later confirmed they were there to carry out a federal court-approved search and arrest warrant, but that's all they gave. No names, no charges, no details about what they were after or who the real target was, which only made things feel more suspicious. Agents moved through everything, the main house, the garage, and 4 different vehicles. 1 was parked inside, 3 sitting out in the driveway like they were waiting to be checked. At one moment, all 4 trunks were popped open at the same time, and agents started tagging each ride, snapping pictures of everything inside like they were building a serious case. They were not moving sloppy either. Every car got checked top to bottom, every trunk opened and inspected carefully. Then they circled back and kept working inside the house like they knew exactly what they were looking for. As the morning stretched into the afternoon, things got even more intense. Agents were seen carrying out computer monitors and those brown paper evidence bags, the kind used when they're locking in real proof for court. And here's the part that had people confused. No arrests were caught on camera that whole time. Not one person walked out in handcuffs while news crews were watching everything live. Then suddenly, a black BMW pulled up to the property. A woman stepped out, and neighbors said she actually lived at the house, but she kept quiet and did not say a single word to anyone, keeping the mystery alive. She walked straight past the cameras like nothing was going on and kept it moving, not saying a word to anybody watching. No eye contact, no reaction, just straight through the chaos like it was regular. By the afternoon, the whole scene started to clear out. Federal agents slowly pulled back, packing up after hours of tearing through the property like they already got exactly what they came for. Now, everybody had the same question stuck in their head: whose house is this really? Property records from the Shelby County Assessor's Office pointed to the name Rel Williams, and that's where things got tricky fast. That name connects to 2 people. Pooh Shiesty, whose real name is Lontrell Donnell Williams Jr., and his father, Lontrell Williams Sr., known in certain circles as Mob Boss. But here's the twist. The records don't say junior or senior, just that one name sitting on the deed, leaving everything wide open. That single detail had people talking crazy. Was it Pooh's place? His father's spot? Or was the warrant really aimed at somebody else completely? The confusion only made the situation feel even more intense and unclear. The feds stayed quiet, gave no clear answers, and that silence had the internet going wild trying to piece everything together on its own. People started connecting dots, guessing moves, and building their own versions of what really went down. At first, the raid itself did not show any arrests on camera, which only made things more confusing. But by the 2nd of April 2026, things started to shift. Inmate records and social media posts from accounts closely watching the situation confirmed that Lontrell Williams Sr., Pooh Shiesty's father, had been arrested and booked into custody in Memphis after the raid, meaning somebody definitely got picked up once the cameras were gone. Now, when it comes to Pooh Shiesty himself, the story looks completely different. There are no solid or credible reports saying he was arrested, detained, or even inside that house during the raid. Major news outlets covering everything live could not find a single piece of proof tying him directly to the situation. And still, that did not slow the rumors down at all. The speculation had already taken off before the flashbangs even hit the ground, and it only got louder as more people started adding their own theories. One of the loudest voices came from street blogger Seti Nash, who started posting videos right after the FBI showed up. He claimed that Pooh had already been locked up for 3 days before the raid even happened. He also said Big 30, known as a close associate, was on the run, and tried to link the whole situation to an alleged issue involving Gucci Mane, turning the story even more intense and controversial. That right there is Seti Nash's version of events, completely unverified. There is no official record backing up the claim that Pooh Shiesty was already locked up before the raid even went down. There is also zero official confirmation connecting him directly to that situation at that time. But by then, the story had already spread everywhere, going viral before anyone even stopped to question it. Now, here's where things get more serious. When all of this was happening, Pooh Shiesty had just recently come home from federal prison. He was released around October 6th or 7th, 2025, after serving close to 3 years out of a 6-3-month sentence. His original release date was supposed to be April 2026, but good behavior and earned credits helped him get out early. But getting out did not mean full freedom, not even close. He was placed on supervised release for 3 years, and those conditions were strict. No new criminal activity, no firearms, no associating with known felons, basically a tight federal watch with no room for mistakes. Then in January 2026, more rumors started floating around. Some reports claimed he had picked up a new charge and was back in custody after Bureau of Prisons records showed him at a residential reentry management facility in Dallas, with a projected release date listed as April 11th, 2026, adding even more confusion and tension to the situation. That situation actually got cleared up fast. It turned out to be standard supervised release processing, the kind of halfway house setup people go through at the end of a federal sentence. No new charges, no violations, nothing extra added to his case, just finishing the final steps before being fully released. But that mix-up about whether he was home or still in a halfway house only made things more confusing. It added another layer to a situation that was already unclear and had people guessing from every angle. Now here's what people were saying on the streets. The house on Beaver Valley Lane was known as the family home. His father was living there, and whatever that warrant was really about, it was tied to that address and that shared name on the records. Still, none of that has been officially confirmed in detail. There has been no charging document released, no clear statement, and no law enforcement press briefing explaining the full situation. What is confirmed is simple. His father was taken into custody, and Pooh Shiesty himself was not officially charged or arrested in connection to that raid. And that detail changes how everything gets viewed. Because once you understand his past history with federal cases, it becomes clear why the internet reacted so fast and so loud when those flashbangs went off. The moment people saw federal agents on that block, assumptions started flying instantly, and it all connects back to the kind of record he already has. He was born November 8th, 1999, in Memphis, Tennessee, and his early life already had run-ins with law enforcement. Reports say his first issues started back in middle school, leading to expulsion, time in an alternative school, and even juvenile detention, but the exact details from that time were never fully made public. Once he became an adult, things got a lot clearer and a lot more serious. On July 7th, 2020, he was riding as a passenger in a car where shots were fired at a Memphis gas station. Federal documents later referenced the incident, though no major injuries were officially highlighted at the time. Then things escalated in a major way. On October 13th, 2020, he was arrested in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, and this situation came with heavy allegations. According to prosecutors, he and others connected with individuals who were selling marijuana and high-end sneakers, but what started as a deal quickly turned into a violent situation. Authorities claimed the victims were assaulted and had their belongings taken, items like drugs, sneakers, and cash. During the incident, gunfire broke out, leaving one person with a gunshot wound to the hip and another injured as well. Investigators pointed to evidence that raised serious attention. Social media posts allegedly showed a Louis Vuitton bag and cash, and officials claimed the serial numbers on that money matched what was reported taken during the incident. He was hit with multiple serious charges, including armed robbery, aggravated assault with a firearm, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and theft. Then the case got even bigger. The federal government stepped in and officially took over on June 9th, 2021, pushing everything to another level. He got picked up again in Miami-Dade, this time tied to an incident at King of Diamonds where he was accused of shooting a security guard in the leg. This all went down during Memorial Day weekend, and he was held without bond, making the situation even more serious right away. Later on, the reported victim walked back parts of his original statement, which added some doubt to the situation. But even with that, the incident still got folded into the growing federal investigation that was already building around him. Then the case leveled up in a major way. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of Florida came through with a multi-count indictment, stacking heavy charges. These included conspiracy to possess firearms in connection with violent crimes and drug trafficking, Hobbs Act robbery, conspiracy, and discharging a firearm during a crime of violence, the kind of charge that could carry life in prison. Facing that kind of pressure, things shifted fast. On January 4th, 2022, he accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to one count of conspiracy to possess firearms tied to violent and drug trafficking activity. In exchange, prosecutors dropped the other 3 charges, including the one that could have kept him locked up for life. His defense argued he was not the shooter in the hotel-related situation and claimed he was only there trying to purchase codeine for personal use. That claim played a role in how everything unfolded in court. Then on April 20th, 2022, U.S. District Judge K. Michael Moore handed down the sentence 63 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Prosecutors had been pushing for as much as 97 months, but he ended up with significantly less. That's the official record! 1 adult conviction, several incidents tied into the case, and a plea deal that removed the most serious charges but still left a sentence that carried real weight. Then he went in and served his time, staying out of the spotlight while everything played out. But the moment he got released in October 2025, all eyes locked right back onto him. Every move he made was being watched closely. Every decision, every appearance, it was all under pressure, like people were waiting to see what direction he would take next. And then this situation hit out of nowhere. The reaction online showed real frustration. People had serious expectations for what he could build in 2026. The music was still buzzing, the energy was there, and it felt like he was gearing up for a strong run. Then April 1st changed the conversation completely. Rumors about a Gucci Mane-related situation started spreading fast, adding even more confusion and tension to everything already going on. Now, the biggest question hanging over all of this is simple. Why did the feds show up like that? What were they really looking for? Officially, nobody has those answers. The FBI has not released any details about the investigation, who the warrant was targeting, or what charges, if any, were being prepared, leaving everything wide open and full of speculation. As of April 2nd, 2026, there were still no public court documents, no official charges, nothing released to explain what really triggered that raid. But out in the streets and online, a whole different story had already taken over, and it had been building for months before any federal agents showed up. The rumor going around was wild. It claimed Pooh Shiesty, along with Big 30 and others, confronted Gucci Mane, allegedly took his jewelry, and forced him to sign paperwork releasing Pooh from his 2017 record deal. That story spread fast and hit hard, grabbing attention everywhere. It first started blowing up around mid-January 2026, taking over social media, podcasts, YouTube breakdowns, and threads across X. For months, people kept repeating it, but here's the key detail. There was not a single police report, not one official statement from Gucci Mane or his team, and no court filings to back any of it up. Still, that did not stop the momentum at all. The entire narrative lived online. floating between what people were saying and what could actually be proven, which made it even more controversial. Tasha K was one of the first to push the story publicly in January 2026. Her version focused more on the contract angle, describing it as a forced signing situation rather than a robbery, saying no jewelry was taken, just paperwork being signed under pressure. Then the story picked up even more attention. In a Vlad TV interview that spread quickly, Adam Tutu claimed that multiple Memphis sources told him the situation was real. He specifically repeated claims that Gucci Mane's ring was taken and that pressure was applied to get him to sign a release. He also pointed out Gucci Mane's response, or lack of response, as something people should pay attention to, which only added more fuel to the speculation and kept the whole situation trending. That's where the situation turned serious real fast! If federal charges like robbery, kidnapping, or firearms ever come into play and actually stick, those numbers stack up heavy, especially with a prior federal conviction already on record. Coming back into federal court as a convicted felon is a whole different level of pressure, and the consequences can escalate quick. Out in the streets and online, people have been speaking on it with no filter. The conversation keeps circling around timing, decisions, and what was really in front of him at that moment. Early 2026 had a wide open lane in street rap, no clear leader dominating the space, and the spotlight was just sitting there waiting for someone to take it. He had the momentum too. The welcome home energy was real, and people were ready to see him win big. There was hype, attention, and a real shot to take things to the next level, but then everything shifted once the feds entered the picture again. And when you step back and look at everything, it all connects back to his track record, how he moves, the choices made, and the situations that keep following him. That's what keeps people talking and watching closely. If you've been following this whole situation, drop your thoughts below. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this video, and comment what you think is really going on, because this story is far from over.